Good morning, 819S. It's a cooler one today. It feels like it's about 25, 26 right now. The high is over 30 again, though. And it rained a little last night, so the humidity is really, really, really high. But other than that, it seems like it's going to be a good day. It's going to rain a little bit later today. It might rain a little bit tomorrow. Scattered showers, not so serious. And it's the first half of the day on July 5th, the day that everyone claimed there would be a big, or not everyone, the day that a manga artist had envisioned an earthquake or a disaster for Japan. Right now it is 8:49 a.m. And as of now, there have been no life-changing disasters that I know of. There was a strong earthquake in Tokara Islands this morning, Shindo 5. I don't know the exact magnitude. I got into a little bit of a debate with a coworker whether Shindo or magnitude was more important. I think maybe I'm coming to his side. Shindo is important for the people in an area because it's how strong the shaking is in that area. So it determines whether buildings could fall or whether you could stand up or not, or things like that. But magnitude is the overall size of the quake, right? And in this case, I guess he's right, because a low magnitude earthquake is not, usually doesn't cause such a significant world-changing disaster like was envisioned. So I think maybe me looking at the wrong number sways my opinion about things. But yeah, it seems like today will be a safe day, which is what I sort of expected, but I bought some bottled water and food and stuff just in case, because you know what, as unscientific as it is, you never know what could happen, and this is a country that has earthquakes and disasters regularly. So, but speaking of disasters then, and why I feel the way I feel about them, I just want to talk a little bit about the March 11th, 2011 earthquake. I was here in Japan for that. It was pretty scary. I was working in Yokohama Lalaport. For people who don't know, Lalaport is a shopping center, like a shopping mall. I don't remember exactly. I want to say I was on the 3rd floor or the 4th floor of the building. I think 3rd floor. We were on the top floor, as I remember, and when the earthquake alarm rang and the earthquake hit, it was so strong that I had to grab onto the wall of the building. I couldn't stand. The building was shaking and swaying so dramatically. After it had stopped, everyone was trying to kind of calm down and kind of assemble, get back to a state where they felt kind of safe. And then we heard an earthquake alarm again, and there was a announcement about protecting yourself in the shopping center. So the staff were handing out shopping baskets that people could use to cover their heads in case there was falling debris from the ceiling. The place I worked had a pipe burst above the in the tiles above the building, or above the workspace. So I emptied out some drawers and put everything on a kind of higher ground, and then put the drawers underneath where the water was leaking to try to minimize the damage in the room, but the water was just flowing endlessly. There was no way to stop it. Yeah. After that, there was no electricity. As my memory, there's bits and pieces that are not perfectly clear. There's emergency lighting and stuff like that in buildings that are usually battery powered. So maybe the main lighting was out in the building, but some emergency lights to guide you to exits and things like that were still functional and operational. When I got out into the street, most of the traffic lights were off. So there were local people just directing traffic at some of the bigger intersections, which was impressive. It was definitely a good thing. Convenience stores and stuff like that. I couldn't take the train home because the trains were stopped with no electricity. There's no train. And I think with the risk of another aftershock or another earthquake coming, the trains would be stopped anyways until everything sort of settles down. But yeah, I knew that I couldn't take the train home. I forgot how far it was. I want to say 15 kilometers from my house, but I had ridden my bicycle there so many times that I knew the roads without using a map or GPS. So I just said, "This is it. I'm going home." The building had the key, and the security guards maintained the key. So I had to give the key to our building to the building manager, and then I left. Making phone calls and things like that was completely out of the question. There's no way you could get a phone call through. I did get some messages through on Twitter, but I didn't, like most of my family and friends in Japan weren't on Twitter. There were some social media sites that did work, even though short mail, which is SMS, or text messages, didn't work. So it was surprising, because I didn't sort of think about that prior to the earthquake. But, in retrospect, it makes perfect sense. You have you have 100,000 people all trying to make a phone call at the same time, or, tens of thousands of people all texting simultaneously. It just overloads the network, and there's nothing that can really get through. So, yeah. And had to walk home. I quit drinking alcohol in my life, but at the time I was still drinking alcohol. So I stopped at the convenience store and I bought a can of Chuhai to kind of settle my nerves. I knew I was walking, I wasn't driving or riding a bicycle, so there was no real concern. But, I had a drink to calm myself down, and it was successful, but, I had to pay cash, and then there was no receipts or anything. I don't need it, but my point is the convenience store was, like, dark. I think it took about 3 hours to walk home. I was not sure if my wife was okay or not through the whole walk, and when I got to my house, she worked across the street from where we were living at the time, and when I got home, she was there with two of her coworkers. They were eating potato chips and relaxing, just chatting. So I was happy that they were okay. I guess she had tried calling me, just as I had tried calling her, and we weren't able to get through to each other. And I think that was a pretty life-changing moment. I guess what I took from that was that you don't know what will happen next in this world, so you should always kind of be on good terms with people. Don't leave your wife in a fight, and kind of something like that. We were not doing well that day, but we weren't significantly fighting. But, after that day, I had a lot more gratitude towards the things I do have in my life, and family members and things like that. Even though it sometimes doesn't seem like it, in my heart, it's true. So yeah. You never know what's going to happen. I think today is going to be safe, but we still have another half of the day to go. If you guys are still watching, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Ride safe.